Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement. And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant. Break us 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, we are at war. They declared war on us 500 years ago. Unrelenting war. Consistent. Persistent. Mean-spirited. Devastating. Whatever adjective you want to get it, the Holocaust. Terror, 24/7. We experienced terror from them 24/7 for hundreds of years. And now they say we should just get over it. We're going to get over it all right. Treachery. I know you can't fully understand these things because you have to have a comprehensive knowledge of how the universe works. But treachery is when parts of your body turn cancerous, start attacking the healthy body, healthy cells. That's a right internal treachery. It doesn't matter why they're doing it. And so you see these clowns here. Well, some of them are demons. Demons not treacherous because not to us, right? Because they're fighting for their master and they're infiltrators. But treacherous is one of us and turns on us. And some of these fall in that category and plenty more. Nuri. There's a bunch of them. The so-called math doctor. Because first of all, they distort the scripture like I just mentioned, they distort it. They can't find any evidence to back up what Farrakhan's saying. None. And that's the one question they'll be asked. In a few more days, they'll be, when they back in a corner, have no place to go, they can't hide behind Farrakhan. One question to be asked, show me the scripture that supports what you've been saying about Farrakhan. Show me one scripture that supports that. And when they can't, it says a grievous, most grievous chastisement. Because they're liars. They distort the scripture. There's no scripture that support anything they're talking about Farrakhan. No, none whatsoever. Not even in the Quran. And the thing is, you have Malachi. And Malachi, clearly, they use Malachi as say, okay, see that proves that Elijah's the one. But Malachi also says there's a messenger of the covenant that comes after Elijah, that Elijah praying the way for. But Elijah's the last one. Well, I mean, you tell us we need to look at Malachi to justify, right, our observance, our following of Elijah Muhammad. Even, mentioning by name. But then what about the other part? You believe in part of the book, disbelieve the other? You believe in part of the book, there's another? What about the part that says the messenger of the covenant that he prepared the way for? Oh, you don't hear nothing about him. You don't want to hear anything about that. You don't even mention him. That show you right there that they know they're misleading because if they didn't understand, they would mention them. Maybe confuse or try to say this is the messenger of the covenant or whatever. They don't even mention it. Just like they don't even mention about going home. They mention the Abrahamic covenant. I mean, Abrahamic vision. They don't mention the covenant. Oh yeah, we Abraham's seed. 40 years on the land's not ours. And then they go and say, well, it's 470, 30 years old. No, they don't know what to talk about. Because the officially started in 1619. Okay? And it's not overdue. But they think it is. Well, most of them don't believe it anyway. It doesn't matter. That's the question we ask. And somehow they think they got a, well, if they either agents or demons. Well, demons don't have any choice. Well, if they're demons, then they don't fall in the category of treachery. But those who are not demons and part of the Levites or the rich or the Shabazz, and they're out there talking, they don't know what they're talking about. They start scripture, and we told you not to do that. Because you play with God's words. They didn't spend 16 trillion years ago, they didn't sit around and put the scripture together and verify it was 100% correct. All that just for you to come along and start playing with it. Got a little eraser and a little editor and all that kind of stuff. And you don't know what they're talking about. I mean, you got dumbass Wesley, he always look confused all the time. Talking about the sun is our problem. We ain't getting enough sun. Yeah, we ain't going anywhere. If that's the case, then we should just go back to Africa, right? That would be the solution. We ain't getting enough sun, but then why they have a problem? They get plenty of sun. And you got Nuri talking about, oh, well, the giraffe got a long neck because millions of years ago there was one curious giraffe. So, hey man, I want that fruit on top of that tree up there. He had a short neck, right? And so that desire was so strong that he passed on to his offspring. I was there, I heard him say it personally. Until after millions of years, finally, because each neck got longer and longer and longer. Bunch of just stupid shit. Not going on with these clowns. It's your talk. Electricity and everything. No, electricity is not in everything. You don't know what electricity is. Electricity is the flow of electrons. You don't know what electricity is. They talk about sleep is a force. Sleep is not a force. See, the absence of a force. It's anything. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, you should shut up. And you should be doing what Malachi says, seeking the message of the covenant. They ain't seeking it. So why aren't they? Anyway, treachery will be rewarded. And I keep explaining to everybody, it's at a time of unprecedented trouble. It means everything be unprecedented. The punishment will be unprecedented. It says he's going to do a strange thing. Well, why? What does it mean? It says he's going to do a strange thing. That means beyond your comprehension. Strange is like beyond your comprehension. Unprecedented. Oh, what these clowns going to happen? They have no idea what's about to happen to them. I mean, we ain't talking about years or more. We talking about in a few days. Because this is going to happen while this war is going on. They ask that one question. And they can't answer, oh boy. And see, they got this bad idea, something, oh man, Elijah said, you got one life and that's it. No, that's not what he said. He said you can't come back from the grave. So you assume that's it. That's not it. Elijah Muhammad didn't really say it either. Right? And that's not what the Quran teaches. That's not the end of you. Everyone, no one, there's no way that you can avoid consequence. No one leaves this planet, right, without their record adjusted for consequence for what they've done. The Quran tells you that. So you want to talk about the Quran, teach you that, doesn't it? And what you've done, this is unprecedented times. So what you're doing is unprecedented evil. Keep that mind unprecedented. Keep that word unprecedented in your mind. Unprecedented evil. That means you're going to get unprecedented punishment. That's it. Most grievous. That's the worst you can be. Most grievous. Want to play it again? Then I'm going to move on, brother, sister. Oops. Oh boy.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement. And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Receiving the message of the covenant. That's what it says. A free gift. Why are they paying Farrakhan? It says a free gift. They didn't have to pay Elijah. They didn't have to pay Elijah. They did Elijah took the money that the FY brought in. He didn't have the sisters on the streets doing fundraisers for him like Farrakhan does as a pimp. And that money went back into building a nation. When he left here, he leave here a millionaire. All the money that Elijah Muhammad had, it was left in the name of the Nation of Islam. With Farrakhan and Wallace went to court and everything to get hold of that money. They said that didn't belong to us. It belonged to it was the Messer's money. And so then they was Messer's children, so it went to them. That's how they got hold to it. And they let the Bleeds out with nothing. The Bleeds didn't. Wallace didn't do anything. Wallace didn't help build that. He was bad mouthing his father the whole time. He hated his father. So why would he want what his father left behind then? Why would he want the nation's stuff if he hated his father so much? He was against the Nation of Islam. He was always bad mouthing. He was mad mouthing the messenger. He was going and putting Chicago Defender, all kinds of nasty stuff out the messenger. The messenger had to actually ban him from not only from the nation but from his own family. So he had no part in building the Nation of Islam, not no part whatsoever, zero. So why did he want the money that believers went out there and sacrificed and sold papers and some died, some ended up in prison and everything else, pushing this program. I was there from 775 and I sold 300 papers a week just like everyone else did. I went home and I went all kinds of things getting this program done. I was a foreman in Muhammad Street newspaper, night shift. All kinds of sacrifices. So what gave him the right to have that money? And even when the message was around, Farrakhan was running around a Rolls Royce. You know what a Rolls Royce is? That's, I don't know what they are now, but back then that was like the Lamborghini of the times. I'm saying, how can he afford a Rolls Royce? And he's just a minister of the Temple, Temple 7 in Harlem. It was some strange stuff going on, brothers and sisters. And strange stuff going on. Okay? But they left that money, left it, and they tore it down and started a thing called Balalians. They got rid of Nation of Islam, took all that money, liquidated all the assets. And they had some very beautiful chairs in the temple there. They changed their mosque. Very expensive chairs. I'm not going into details, but they're very expensive chairs. They got rid of those chairs. Everybody, we're Sunni now. So you just get on the floor and sit on the floor. These people are incredible. Incredible. And whilst Farrakhan was standing right there with him, he was bad mouthing the messenger too. So he tried to get out of it. He didn't get out because I was a witness. And there's other witnesses too. He was bad mouthing the messenger, said he didn't believe in Master Muhammad, didn't believe any of that stuff. And we actually have more tapes saying it. If we have tapes saying it. And not just saying it, we have him visibly him and Wallace bad mouthing the messenger in an interview. And then he admits that his father was the devil. So that case closed right there. We're going, brothers and sisters. Like I said, treachery. Unprecedented. Okay, my commentary is going to be an Apocalypse and War of Heaven. I think I'm going to be able to keep it within an hour today, brothers and sisters. But again, I want to mention this. Now, if you want to be deceived, you're going to continue to be deceived. See, because the truth is so, the truth, even without the angel, is so clear. Because all you got to do is just follow Exodus. If you follow what Exodus says, you can't go wrong. If you follow what Exodus says, you can't go wrong. See? God comes to Moses, right? Raised Moses up. Moses asked for someone to speak for him, and the God was angry. Said, "You don't need anybody." So he didn't anoint Farrakhan. Didn't anoint him at all. But Elijah kept insisting. So he said, "Okay, you got Aaron." But God was against it. He wasn't for it. And that's what we read it. And then what happens? And then Elijah departs. And after he departs, he tears everything up, turning people against God, turning people against the teachers, everything. He's got people going around, make people livestock for their enemies. And then so bad that God told Moses, "Hey, you got to go down there, man. That guy went crazy." He don't believe in the God. He's not accepting my teachings anymore. He's not accepting yours. He's telling my God is a spook. He go down there. And Moses go down. Wow, it's like he said, man, this guy went crazy. Then he's a coward because he blamed the believers for what he did. They just wouldn't follow him. He's no, it's their fault. And worse than golden calf, but you have no idea what that is. Yeah, that's what he's doing. And so Moses had to separate the people that were seeking the messenger of the covenant from Farrakhan and his people. He had to go to this camp, and during the time of war with no victory or defeat, separate them, and then he wiped out Aaron and all his people, because Aaron didn't make it hereafter. Joshua did. Aaron didn't, because he died in the wilderness. Anyway, this situation here is like something the devil taught them, because they just stupid to figure out themselves. But again, right, I keep talking about this. You have a ventriloquist and you have a dummy. Elijah Muhammad's not a dummy, but Farrakhan is using him as a dummy. Okay? So a ventriloquist put words in the dummy's mouth. So he puts words, and it looks like the dummy's saying those words, but no, it's the ventriloquist saying those words. But it looks like the dummy's saying it. He's just saying what the ventriloquist said. So he's saying this stuff, we ain't going nowhere, and all that kind of stuff. So, and it come out of Elijah's mouth. Okay? But then you should know that the opposite. That what's going on here is a ventriloquist and a dummy. But remember, Elijah Muhammad's not a dummy. But this is where he's using this. And so then he comes back and backtrack and says, okay, I'm a student of Elijah, when he's made a dummy, right? And I'm just going to preach what he says. But what he was saying is not what Elijah was saying. What was said was not Elijah saying. It was what Farrakhan was putting in Elijah's mouth. So now he's saying he's crediting Elijah for what crap he's coming out of his mouth, and saying that's from Elijah. No, that's from you that you put in Elijah's mouth. And now you say, well, I'm just saying what Elijah says. Maybe you understand, maybe you don't. Quiet before the storm. What's happening right now, Don said there will be a storm. And when this so-called pause, it's going to be much worse than it was before. People get angry. Iran says, why'd you agree to the pause? Because you had false Israel on his knees. That's a good question. Why? They did. That's not going to change anything. Because they go, it's going to be more intense. It's like that never pause never happened. Move on, brothers and sisters. So Gog and Magog, that's chapter 20. There's been two world empires that cover the whole world. Who is it? Anything in history knows only America and Britain, the only two world empires, not Genghis Khan, not no Pharaoh, not, right? It's only them two. First Britain, never said the British Empire, and now America. So that's Gog and Magog. Gog, Magog just means mother of God. Okay, what happened? And basically where we are right now is, there's the pause, like at 0.7. Right? And then, now this is my estimation. I can tell you then definitively that the war will be over by December. This took what, one heaven. I can't tell you exactly in between exactly, because the only one knows that is Master Prophet Muhammad. But I do know the end date. I just don't know exactly when each one of these things happen. But I know the next thing would be is that conflict between America, Iran, folks, Israel, very soon, dramatic, intense, right? So here it says Iran attacks American military bases. Is that response to them attacking them? Because they're going to. So that's what's going to kick this thing off. Because when they attack American military bases, it's game on. I'm not saying who provoked it or not. I'm just saying that's going to happen. And that's my estimation that this will happen between June and July. Because I think September, it'd be hot, it'd be a regional war, hot and heavy, going strong in September. It will really be raging in September. And for Israel, and then God may God be kicked out. When that happens, it's going to be a full regional war. And the Sunni is going to side with America. They're going to side with America. God may God. Full blown. And during that time, that's when Aaron, right, or Farrakhan's disposed. And go on, brothers and sisters. I'm going into more detail in a minute. Here, brothers and sisters. One heaven. That's where we are right now. And so this is the pause. So now this is what you expect to happen after the pause. Okay? Because they're attacking Iran. That's the pause right now. Right? Fans are holding back. And they said, why you agree to the pause? You had falsehood on the knees. Well, we shall see. But here we are right now. Boom. Here we go, sisters. So Iran agreed to merge. So they come like a whirlwind. Right? Let's look at that again. Said America is for God, may God on fire. They say they wait for Iran, but they got surprised from Iran going boom, powerful whirlwind. Of course, false this is a breakup. Right? Lose control of his society. Oh, it's going to be terrible over there. People trying to leave right there now. They close the airport. People trying to get the hell out of there. State's going to be once this really jump off. So, force Israel is broken up, and God make us on fire. Iran's attacked the American bases. Right? They're thrown out of the Middle East. Falls Israel under siege and gone. And then, when they go, falls Israel and Gog and Magog, Gog and Magog, they throw out the Middle East. They head towards Europe. America has a lot of base in Europe. Right? That's their ally, EU. But Europe is in conflict with Russia because of what America's done. And they had this pipeline, I forgot the name of the pipeline, right? They get oil from Russia, but America blew up that pipeline, so now they totally depend on more the East, on the Middle East. Europe totally depend upon that their oil in the Middle East, particularly Iran. But now Iran has total control of all the oil in the Middle East, and they deny Europe any oil because they're in league with America. So now Europe's economy, chapter 18, it says the economy totally collapses, total. America follows soon afterwards, but there's total collapse. That's what we're talking about. Okay? And so the only place they can get oil from is America, but they can't get oil from America sufficient time and sufficient supply to make a difference because they can't bring it by plane. They have to bring it by boat. That takes as much, a long time for the boats to get there and unload. So the people are rebelling, people are angry. And they blame America for this. And so America, they make peace with Russia, and Russia supplies because Russia has plenty of oil. Right? And so now they sync with Russia, they're buddy with Russia now. Remember, Russia is at conflict with America. It was a conflict with Europe, but now Europe is on his side because he said, okay, you give us all, we want your side. Right? So now you got the conflict between America, Russia, and EU now. And EU now. Okay? And the thing is, remember, America got bases all over Europe. And what happens is that the EU, once Iran turns off the oil, they attack the bases to take the oil that they have, because the bases have oil. They have reserved oil for, the military bases. They attack them. Right? And so now America's bases, 10,000, 100,000 men over there in European bases under attack. So America has to defend them so they can come to Europe to protect their bases, and then a full-blown conflict with Russia and Europe. That's Armageddon. That's Armageddon. Armageddon East. American control. It's fighting Russia. It's fighting EU. It's trying to save its troops that are under attack over Europe. Because if they're conflict with Russia, right? Then also there's conflict with their troops. You understand, brothers and sisters? That's Armageddon. That's Armageddon's a European war. European war. That's what Armageddon is, not that crap Farrakhan talking about. That's what kick off in a minute. That will kick off as soon as America, Britain kick out of the Middle East. Armageddon West. That's here. Okay? You got insurrection here. Economic problems, the gas and everything will be higher for as long as it lasts, which won't be very long. Right? He says it'll be so bad that people will pay an astronomical amount of money for very shit. Well, it's going to be a strange thing. It'll be very terrible. Insurrection here. Insurrection. And during this time, let me back up and show you this. I'm sorry, maybe you missed it. Maybe you missed it. So again, see here? It's Farrakhan. During this time, while the war's going on, he's cast down. The accuser of our brothers cast down. He tried to NOI, but he gets cast down while this war is going on. This is when Armageddon West is happening. Armageddon West kicked off. Armageddon West have insurrection here, right? They want to call martial law. You got all No, they just got that kicked out of the Middle East, and they had war over there, and they went into the draft. It's caused a lot of problems. They said, well, why you got this war, Trump? You know, he's supposed to be a not war candidate and so forth, so on. It's going to be terrible. Insurrection, fighting for food, because economic collapse may have not actually happened yet, but the thing is, food price and everything else be all off the page. Right? And be out of stores quickly, because they're going to panic. People are going to panic. And they're going to be running the stores. I tell people get at least 2 weeks worth of food. They don't have to cook or right or freeze, because you're not going to be able to go to the store and get anything. But they're going to be fights at the stores. People getting shot. People getting stuff snatched right out of their hand. That's about to happen, bro. It's not years away. This year. So you got all kinds of confusion in America. Everybody's retreats of enclaves. Indians group with the Indians and Chinese and everybody's grouping together. Why? Because trying to survive. You know, food is short. They're not promising food. We are. They're not promising food. Food is short. They can't leave. They're going to lock the border where you can't leave, where you can't come in. You can't come in. If you're in, you can't get out. And people are going to resort to cannibalism. There comes some old scheme, right? If you eat this, then you must be inferior or something, whatever. Anyway, when cannibalism comes, it's not nothing rational about it, right? But it's desperation. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Total chaos here. They're gonna try to call martial law, it's not gonna last. Farrakhan, these demons, right? They cast down. But they part of this, and now they called out. They exposed, disposed. Well, it's going to happen very soon, in my estimation, right before September. Then the war will go hot and heavy, right? Armageddon, based on what I see it, Armageddon will not take place in Europe until after September. So they're still going to have this skirmish and stuff they have right now. I don't think this pause will last until then, but this is going to be extremely hot. So there'd be interreactions before then, but the main one won't happen until around September. We understand, brothers and sisters. See, Suleiman's taking over NOI. Maybe taking over a strong word, because they're going to come to him and bow before him. That's what it says. You got to go to them, bow to him, because it's going to be such trouble. He's the only light, because you're not getting light from any place else. You're not getting from Farrakhan. Farrakhan said, well, God told him to shut up. And then, really? You believe that? Time unprecedented trouble. What's going on? Remember last week he tried to say, well, he knew somebody one Middle East. He mentioned Armageddon 3 years ago, I believe. And he said it's going straight all over the world. It never happened. So now they're trying to say, well, when I explained Armageddon, Apocalypse, I explained it for years. I told you exactly what's going to happen and everything else. Because I don't know, when you get down to details, I know the upper end. I just can't tell you exactly every step along the way. So they didn't have the demon wars. That's the locust wars in Revelation. See, let me back up here for a minute. I think I missed something. See, here, it's seen a great army here. That's what Suleiman does. He get control of the NOI and turn it a seemingly great army. But during this time, they're going to be attacking Because false Israel is about history. Right? Got to get rid of it. And the only reason it was there to destroy your vision. Make sure you don't have a vision. To nullify your vision that Elijah Muhammad gave you about the promised land, Abrahamic covenant. Told you that was you talking about, so we want to get rid of that. So you put false Israel up there. So you see that a false sign, and you say you accept that. And so you reduce Ben Ham, just somebody who don't know anything, is stupid, savage. And then some of you could think that you actually think the devil say, man, because you rescued me from that. We'll tell you that again later. So now he has charge of NOI. And comes on fire. But they're attacking everybody during this time. They're drawn out. And now they're attacking us. Because the whole idea was to keep us under control. And now we lose control of us. And then the demon war, America been chaos. Martial law didn't work. Everything's falling apart. And the demons, they've been separated. I'm not showing it here, but they were separated. Right? That's where Moses was. He was separating. We also saw Elijah. He separated them. Son of Man was separated. Chaff from the wheat. And the chaff doesn't have a home, a promised land. It's their home, so they're in line with that. But it applies to them, not us. Right? And so they start tearing the place. That's the Samson option. They're Samson. These are Levites. They're Samson. See? And they're going to break down America and kill themselves in the process. For the most part, 7 million survive. So it's right there. They're doing the war. And so here's black folks, right? War, fighting. This demon war is going to be going on during tribulation period. Tribulation period starts the time when they actually attack. Which my understanding of, right, that will happen immediately, beginning of October. The war will be raging in September. And I think the beginning of October, that's when they attack us, because that's the point that they're cast out in the Middle East. And why they got attack us? Because false Israel was going down, and that was false accepted specifically to keep us from recognizing who we are. Because if we next what we are, it says it. We might fight, or war breaks out, might fight on the side of the enemy and lead the country. We're going to get some revenge, do them as that was done to you. Consequence. That's what they're afraid of. They go out of the way to keep you, make sure you, how you do? Good morning, that's a greeting that only happened during so-called slavery. Check your attitude. They make sure you, how do you know you got under control? What's your name? My name is Nicky Nickenbob. Okay, I'm used to. She got master's name. Like a woman, she divorced from a man. She divorced from Vincent Brown, right? Her name is now Amy Brown. Well, why you still keep his name? I mean, I thought y'all was divorced. I thought you was free, so why you keeping master's name? After would you love master? Do you love master? Do you love master? I mean, did he treat you nice? Right? Did he feed you decent food? And take care of your elderly? Did he do all that kind of stuff? Or did he fuck all over you? Right? Did he rape your mama and your grandmama, great-grandmama? Did he take your grandfather, great-grandfather, right? Well, it won't be because he, right? But great-great-grandfather or great-grandmother's child, right? I've been a distant cousin, right? They feed them to alligators. Alive. They rape your great grandmother incessantly, force her to produce their babies. They rape you. They use you as a toilet. I got books to show that. A book. Let me get this book right here. I finally found it. Hold on a second, brothers and sisters. 1 second here. And you might want to get this book. There's a bunch of them. This is just one, and this is mild. This is mild, brothers and sisters. I'm getting myself distracted again. Back 1 second. Okay, I found it, brothers and sisters. Hold on. Second here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but I just get a title. See it or not? It's called Mastery, Tyranny, and Desire by Trevor Bernard. Trevor Bernard. Burnard. Called Mastery, Tyranny, and Desire. And this was mild. Because one of the punishments in here was they would take a slave and have another slave defecate in his mouth. Yeah. Defecate in his mouth, and then they close it, put something around it so they couldn't spit out for 7 days or more. So the only option here was swallow it or deal with it for 7 days or whatever. And I mean, you might get hungry, right? That was mild stuff, right? They would take, just for fun, they get a little, they didn't have to get alcohol, they get a little, what do you call it, moonshine. And they go, let's have some fun. Hey, nigga, come over here, nigga. Bow down. Open your mouth. And they piss right in your mouth. And you better not close your mouth. That's just fun. They did this for hundreds of years. And you gonna give them a pass? Come on, Jesus said forgive. Is that what Jesus said? Is that what he said? He said he come back with a sword. He gonna come back kick ass. You gonna give a pass? So, are you a traitor? You don't give a damn about your ancestors? Because the only reason why they kept going, because they said one day, our descendants gonna kick ass, gonna take names, gonna pay them back what they did to us. That's what kept them going. But if they could look ahead and saw you, boy, ooh. And I'm getting mild stuff. This is worse, much worse than that. Because some stuff I can't. They said one of the most vicious slaves, masters, was this female, and she used to get slaves and she could torment them. They were skin slaves for their skin. They used the skin to make pillows and stuff. Alive. One thing you might not realize, but you can check this out. So I didn't make stuff up. One of the reasons why America became premier in medicine, remember they didn't have anesthesia back then. Even during the Civil War, so-called Civil, they didn't have anesthesia back then. They didn't have, in other words, if they had to cover somebody's leg or something like that, there, right? They would give them something to drink and put wood something between teeth so they wouldn't grind their teeth down, and you'd be in pain. They'd sawing your leg off. And so what they did was they would experiment, especially on females. They cut them open while they don't have anesthesia. They tie them down and cut them open, look inside there and play around, see what's in there. That's how they became premier in medicine, because they would take a look and see what's in there, how things worked. While you was alive. Now, you didn't give a damn about that female, did you? She's crying, she's hollering. I can hear her hollering now. She hollers so loud I can hear her right now. 40 years later, I can still hear her. That allows you hollering. But you can't hear her. Because you're too busy with NFL and Beyonce, all this bullshit they distract you with, and to get your mind off of what they did to you. Because I guarantee if we did that to them, they wouldn't be sitting around here playing, scratching their ass to the NFL. You know what they'd be doing? They'd be head hunting. No nation has ever... Let me move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, Demon War. So that's what's going on here, because America's going to fall apart. That's called martial law. See, let me show it back here again, because this is previous. Remember, this is Armageddon West. Armageddon West means the whole country's going to fall apart. They're going to be able to keep it together, partly because of the economic situation. Plus, they're going to blame Trump because they lost the war in the Middle East, and now Iran has total control of the oil over there. And so now they at war in Europe, Armageddon, and now America had called martial law. They want to the draft, and they see China rising up, and it's total chaos. And like I said, everybody moves into their own enclaves. For so-called Indians here, they're going to gather together because everybody's protecting each other, because there's no food. They don't put it running the stores, and that's the last day you want to go to Walmart. And everybody's in there trying to get what you get shot. If you come out, if you say to get hold of something and get out, they shoot you, take it from you. It's going to be desperate. People be desperate. Cannibalism is going to reign. So all the people on visas, right? They're going to. All the Indians, the Africans, everything will group for protection. It's going to be chaos. And Trump's going to try to call martial law, but it's going to fail. Because there'll be no cohesion. That's Armageddon West. See? And then that's going to be attacking us during this particular time. Because we're rising. See, Suleiman took care, he's got rid of Farrakhan. He's got control of the Middle East. Got control of the Nation of Islam, and you know, a exceedingly great army. Exceedingly great army, and they have food. Because as you said, it's Exodus. Master from Muhammad said, they got man from heaven. They got once a day drop food. They have food. Nobody else have it. Only food they got is each other. People eating their children and everything else. Be dramatic. Total chaos. Right? That's Armageddon West. And in that chaos, right, you have the demons. Remember, the demons got attacked too. So you got two groups. You got the demons and they attack demons and us. They attack anybody's black. So we got an army to defend ourselves, but they bring army together too. See, we're trying to see the great army that we come together, but they have come together too. Remember, you have a bunch of armies. That's what I'm trying to say. The Indians together, they're gonna form an army. The Africans is over here, they're gonna form an army, right? The South American people, Hispanic, they're gonna form for protection. Everybody's going, right? So they will have an army too. Okay? But see, they're the only ones here, aside from the devils, that's trying to protect America. Because South America, let's get the hell out of here. Let's get back down to South America. Indians, anything, that's more complicated. But they just want to get back to India. But now they'll be able to get back. The Africans want to get, but the demons, right? They don't. They know they not see Abraham. America's all they got. They're gonna fight for it. They'll fight for it. It's a 5 months war. That's what it says in Angel. 5 months they're gonna fight for it. Okay? Then we fight most of the devils. Devils gonna be totally disorganized, cannibals, totally off the page, eating their own children, everything else. That's why children be gray-headed, because they can't stay home. So children will gather together, try to form a little army themselves, because they can't stay home with the parents, because the parents will eat them. Hey, Mom, we're having Sally, man. How come I see her head in the pot, her hair in the pot? So they eating Sally. Kids don't see that. They're going to have to leave home. They can't stay because the parents will eat them. So they gather together to try to form little gangs, but then even the gangs will eat them. The weakest one's going to get ate. It's going to be totally cast away. It's going to be a strange thing here. See? So the demons going to be fighting, and they're going to actually win. They will win. They will defeat, and they will have control of America for what it's worth. They will have control of America. They will gain it. After 5 months of fighting, right? But during that 5 months, the Levites, Nation of Islam, they're going to be on their way out of here. They're fighting their way all the way to the West Coast. They're fighting their way all the way to the West Coast. That's the Exodus, right? That's what it's talking about. They're fighting their way to the West Coast. I'm giving you details what you expect to happen, not years from now, this year. But, okay, I'll jump the gun here a little bit. Now they fight. But see, during this time, remember, America is bogged down over in Europe, and you get an ass kicked because Russia, all that, like I said, all that love is going to turn against them. So now they fight in both Europe, they used to be their ally, and Russia. They get an ass kicked over there. Remember, they was a great superpower. Britain is already taken out. Right? They're going to be taken, by the time the goat gets here, Britain will be taken out, because the goat going to take them out on the way here. Right? That's talking about, Britain. So anyway, what's happening is that they bogged down over there. They have no cohesion here. They can't draft anything because everybody's fighting. So the military's not a world power anymore, because the Europeans are killing each other. Right? Europeans are killing each other in Armageddon. I told you, Armageddon's a European war. So the power of the Europeans is fading fast, because they're fighting with each other, and then they have no, over here, the government is broken. They have no control of the populace. So now that means China and India is empowered. They're new world power. That's what it said in India. The crown is transferred from the horn heads to the horns, to 10 horns. That's India and China. They're the world power now. They're going to take advantage of the situation. Because remember, particularly America and Britain, they've done damage all over the world. I told somebody, they want to wear a cross. I said, you should be ashamed of wearing that cross. You should be ashamed of wearing a cross. Why would you? Did you know the history of that damn cross? What has Christianity brought upon the world for the last 500 years? But number of misery, death, genocide, disease, deception, lies, war. That's what Christianity has brought upon the last 500 years. Tell me it's different. Tell me different. They ain't civilized anybody till we can talk about that in a minute. Christianity brought nothing but death and destruction everywhere it went. Disease, genocide, murder. And then talking about falsehoods over there, falsehoods just doing what they saw America doing. You know, what falsehoods doing? If you go over there and say you got revulsions over what happened over false Israel, hell, then you should. They're just telling you. It's like, you know, when you go in some of these movies, they got what they call it, what, how do they call it, right? But you get a little a preview of what the movie's like. They're just telling you, they're giving you a little snapshot of what America did. Took somebody's land, killing people relentlessly without any genocide, you know, without any qualms. Because they said it was animals. All you say is history repeated, but on a small level. Because America did 10,000 times more worse than what they did, what they're doing over there now. So if you repulsed at that, revulsed at it, then you better look back at America. How do you think America got what it got? Came up with Valentine cards? Oh, and Jesus saves? No, they came with destruction. They said, know them by their works. And what's the works of Christianity? They walk around like it's some holy thing. So then, I'm showing you what's going on. First, we're talking about the war in heaven. What's that going to trigger Armageddon? Because they get thrown out of the Middle East. Right? And I ain't talking about the war in the Middle East. There's war in the Middle East is going to be a lot more dramatic than I've told you. Because Michael and his angels are going to be involved in that one. His angels are the Shia. But Michael is master from Muhammad. Who else is he? You never hear Farrakhan. They're talking about master because they don't know who he is. That's how dumb they are. He's just one who's going to deliver us, right? I'm not against that right now. Right? So we're talking about that, and that triggers Armageddon. Armageddon triggers a demon war, right? And the resurrection of the original people, original nation, comes together as a great army, right? And so during the 5 months that the demons are trying to capture this country, see, that get back to, like, you know, the dichotomy, because we got the chaff and the wheat, but they have two different ideas. Once Civil War came, as so-called slavery was over. We still slaves now, bro, since you don't understand it. Yeah, the dichotomy. Those who wanted to get the hell away from the plantation and want to stay with mass. They were these sharecroppers. Okay, 50 years later, right? First you had the blues. 50 years. It was right on time, bro. It's just the thing. Then 50 years later, you got jazz. And they started jazz, and you had two different divisions again. The demons, right? That's masters. They raped our women so much that half the blacks in America, that was, when they say black, you be careful of that term, because it's that skin color, but half the people are demons, wolves in sheep clothing. Half of them are their children in black skin. You watch the movie Django? That dude, he thought he was white. Anyway, he was really, just in black skin. And so, 50 years later, jazz, they hit Eurocentric and Afrocentric. People that start gravitating towards Africa, back Africa. People say we get more like, I think the boys will say, we see more like the Europeans, like the white folks. The divide there. 50 years later, right? Went from blues, 50 years later, jazz, 50 years later, to Motown sound, right? And it had a division again. One separate, hit Elijah's message and King's message. Integrate. We get away from these devils, we want to get closer to them. Because you got the two groups here, you got two different mindsets. The one mindset wants to stay with the devils. So he wanted what? Want to stay back on the farm. Why you want to stay back here after all that stuff they done? Because I'm your child, master. He just mad because you don't accept him. He just like, he thinks like you. He only problem, you accept him. I'm your child. We want to get the hell away from him. And then Eurocentric, we want to be more like Massa. Because we want to be more like Daddy. We're more like Daddy. Hell, fuck Daddy. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Daddy ain't no damn good. See, it's two different ideas. You see, and then you got, then you what? Then you got civil rights. I'm gonna move next to daddy. I'm being helpful. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'm moving next to daddy. I'm moving next to daddy. I want to marry my brother's sisters, daddy's children. So hell, we get the hell out of here, man. I want to have nothing to do with them, man. I want to get away this country, get away from. I said 2 different divides there, because you got 2 different types of people. And Farrakhan follows the devil. He didn't do anything for us. He destroyed the nation of Islam. He said Elijah's seat. He told devils ain't devils anymore. Right? We ain't going anywhere. Because why? He ain't going anywhere. He telling the truth because he's not Abraham's seed. Follows the devil. And so on and so on. I'm going to show it later. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? So, the goats, the demons, they fight trying to get this. They be victorious. They actually win. But it's a pure victory because at the 5 months of fighting, right, they get control of whatever's left of America, right? At that point, we reached the coastline, we're ready to get out of here. And that's when they go to rise. China, India. Okay? That's why I said part of the Red Sea, Red China, that's what it's talking about. And they let NOI go through. Because there's an agreement they made with Master Muhammad. Tells you in chapter 17, it says those 10 kings, right? So they would hate the harlot and said they were inspired to do it by God himself. So he was in control of the situation. Okay, just let these parts go through. Let them go through. And then they, remember, because they let the children of Israel go through, and then they close in on Pharaoh's armies. Who's Pharaoh's armies then? That's the demons. So then we get America, and then you get destroyed because they fight for America. They're going to fight, man. We got to fight them. We took America, now we got to defend it. As we see right here. Okay, that's the ram. Ram's America. 2 horns, America and Britain. That's what happens. So they close in and they go to war. That's the next thing happen. And you're going to see this happen, right? Within the next 12 months. The next 12 months. Right? After December or later, after December. Well, I mix it after December, after November, put it that way. After November this year. But you're going to see them while Armageddon is going, right? You're going to see them rising up. Because China's going to take Taiwan. India's going to reconcile with his Muslim population. Right? And America's not being able to do anything about it. See what I'm saying? So they're rising up, they're coming in. Japan will be with China. South Korea will be with China. They're going to have control of the region. Right? Pakistan will be with India. All those areas, right? What's the other ones? Indonesia, all those places. Because everybody's going to be against America. Because America's done crap to everybody. But primarily it'd be India and China and people supporting them. And they'll come in, they're going to be, this year, next year, this time, right? They'll have control of America, tearing America apart, and says they're going to take all the people that's still able, young and able. They all be cannibals and everything then, you know. I mean, because that's all there is deep. They said they're going to be, but they said they're going to take the ones, they're going to take them into captivity. Then they're going to burn the place down, and America's only place will not be a nuclear war. Will not be a nuclear war. America will be nuked. That's the only place to be nuked. That's revenge for what they did to Japan. And the other reason why they nuked it, because all these people that built guys underground cities, right? These underground cities for case there's civil war. Excuse me, in case there's nuclear war. So they're going to do it to make sure they burn everything down. America will be totally burned, destroyed. And like I said, the ones that's healthy, whatever, that this, they take off the in the service captivity. This is what you see. You see China roaming the streets of America by this year next time. How long they be in? A few months, whatever, and they're going to tear it, destroy it. It says nobody be able to live here. That's what the scripture tells. Nobody be live here for thousands of years because it's going to be radioactive. Right, okay, let's move on. The specifics, bro. This is, you can check. So next year this time, nothing happens. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you haven't got on board, because it's my job to give you information to get the hell out of here. So if you're sitting around here waiting, then you'd be like Pharaoh, right? They said, how he go down? Oh yeah, God. Oh yeah, Moses God, he's right God. Well, he was drowning. Okay. And a lot of people would like say, but Noah, right? They didn't believe it. Oh, Noah was right. Oh, while he drowning. I'm here to get you home, bro. Says, I don't want your money. I don't want anything from you. I don't want your submission, nothing. I just get here to get you home. You accept the information, I don't accept. That's up to you. Accept the information, I don't. That's up to you. But time is running out. So here, now, you want to check this thing about the goat. Go read Daniel. It says the goat comes from the west, feet not touching land. That means it has to come across the water. But it comes from the west. Now this ram, he came from the east. So the only way you can see that if you didn't, well, hold on, boss. This thing is going a little too fast for me. Hold on a second here. So you can see what's going on here. Okay, here you go. Okay. So if you look at this, right, it says the ram came from the east and no one could stop it. And the goat came from the west with feet not touching land. So that means the only way it could be, that means it had to be America, because America, remember, Britain was the Gog Magog. Magog means the mother of God. They came from Europe, which came from the east. And it says the goat, which is China, India, right? They came from the west, but feet not touching land means they had to come across the ocean. And both of these are not landlocked. Both of them have coastlines along the Pacific Ocean, so that you can't deny who they are. They're talking about Alexander the Great and all that kind of stuff. No. So that means they had to come across the Pacific Ocean. That's where they meet at, because America, Britain, right, they came from the east and they meet here in America. So that shows that goat has to be China and India. And America is the one where, because it was established by Britain, right? And then you got America. So, I mean, so there you go. So you look at that yourself, brother. Check it out. Yeah. Here it is. Come across the Pacific Ocean. Remember? And the demons right now, right? They got control at that time when the goat gets here. By the time the goat gets here. Boom. He burns them up. He burns up demons too, kill them all. Because demons, they hope they finally got America. That's what they wanted. Okay, I got a couple more things, bro. Since I'm gonna close. Deceived. Okay. Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. See, they don't pay attention to these lessons. I'm not going to the derivatives and second dimension, that kind of stuff right now. I'm just getting the basics. But the Sunnis, they're actually a jinn. They're actually a jinn. Because they refuse to obey Adam. And Adam has to be the Europeans. Because they said they would be given control. Who's controlling the world as far as you know? The only two world empires you know is Europeans. There's not been any African world powers you know about, Chinese or whatever. Only Europeans, world powers, not regional powers, not Genghis Khan, not Alexander the Great, world powers. That's American Britain, period. That's where Adam is. See? So the thing is that the only people that refuse, because they refuse to submit, we submitted 100% because we was in slavery. We was on total submission to them. But the one that refused to submit to them any kind of way is the Sunni Arabs. They said, we're not going to accept your religion, we're not going to accept your government, we're going to accept your economic system, we're not going to accept any of it. See? And Islam is math, but there's no mathematics. The Sunni is nothing. You go there, they won't talk mathematics. There's no mathematics. They don't understand they don't understand the Quran to this level. They take mathematics, so there's no mathematics to it. So they had a form of Islam, but not the substance of it. See, the form, not the substance. They got the Quran. They got prayer rugs. They got Mecca, Medina, right? The Kaaba, all that. Ramadan, but they don't have the substance. It's not math. It's not when ain't no if. It's not with mathematics, Islam. So they should be talking mathematics. They don't. You talk to they can't. There's no mathematics to talk about. They don't know any mathematics. Not for that. And they're not doing anything. They ain't built anything. They haven't done anything. Right? They have no technology, anything. That's when you really got problems with the Shia. Shia keep their ass because they accept the technology. So anyway, I'm talking about a two-dimensional way. So right now it's a two-dimensional world. And they got this world's life. And they got to spend our money in this world's life doing their thing. Spend our energy. Those worlds love this world's life and those portion you after. I will lift you up and you clean the earth. That's the same. I'm just getting the basics. Go back to the last presentation. I explained it in detail. See, you should be trying to get out of this world's life, but they got your energy. You distracted. I want to see Beyonce. I want NFL. I want to play video games. All that kind of stuff. See, that's holding you down. It's your anchor. So you stay with it, and you're going to get the same thing they get. Okay, let's look at these Arabs. See, the thing is, that Farrakhan telling you, oh, that's Sunnis again. He wants you to go and kiss their ass. We got bow down behind them, kiss their butt, all that kind of stuff, right? The Arab-Muslim slave trade, also known as the Trans-Saharan or Eastern slave trade, is recognized as the largest in history, spanning over 1,300 years, even more than the Devils. It forcibly removed millions of Africans from their homeland, subjecting them to brutal conditions where they live in foreign lands. They can kiss my ass. I'm not. Look, that's their problem over there. We taking our land back. They betrayed us. They are half brothers. See? And just a little segue here, right? See, Abraham, black, period. Prophet Muhammad, black, period. Can prove it. So one of the deceptions is, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, if I have time, right? Is that they're saying that we're Ham, and that false Israel, because they would. That's what the problems they have right now, because they know that false Israel is not seed Abraham. Jesus said there, but the point is they don't want us to know who we are, because they know if we rise up, we're going to take our land back. So that's part of deception. So they say they know we are brothers, because the devils know it too. You know what they call them over there? I was in the military. You know what they call them? They call them desert niggers, because they know they are brothers. But they try to keep that from you. Why do you call them desert niggers? Because they know the Arabs are brothers, half brothers. See? But they say, oh no. Why they going along with that? They said, and that's where they turn from black to white, so they can prove. See, we're all white. That means the false Israel is our brother. They're Isaac. See, they're Ishmael, and we're Isaac. You see, so they turn white. So they see we're the same color, so we brothers. That's a little more complicated, brothers and sisters, because they really black folks over there. They originally was black. This white is a new phenomenon, right? And I know it happens because, a long time ago I was married to a Arab woman from Morocco, and a lot of stuff went down. We had a daughter. She ran off my daughter, ran back to Morocco with my daughter when she was a little baby. She's about 3 years old, right? I got a picture. I'll show you a picture. She's dark as me. So I got contact with her a few months ago, about a year or so ago, right? She contacted me through the email or whatever, right? I mean, not the email, but Facebook or whatever, right? The girl's white. I said, are you sure? We need to do a DNA here? Why the snow? This is where it says Abraham said we return to after 400 years. Arabia, between the river Euphrates and the river Arabia. That means that's not Palestine. They show the whole thing's a lie. All these nations are against you, brothers and sisters. And they're conspiring against you, and now they said you've been in a situation where you're conspiring against yourself. You're beating yourself. That's how bad, because they got you, their mind. If you're a cat with a dog's mind, you're gonna hate cats. You're gonna beat up on cats. You're gonna beat up on yourself, because you're a cat, but you got a dog's mind. The mind delusion. Okay, let's look at this mind delusion here. You see this right here? I'm going to just briefly, brothers and sisters. You got two images here. They tell us this is how we was before we came here. Savages, couldn't read, couldn't write, witch doctors, right? Cannibals, bones on nose, right? Been eaten by animals, eating each other, so forth and so on. That's what they told us. But the truth of the matter is this is what we were. See? And then we can prove it. We had great civilizations. In fact, the Bible tells about Queen of Sheba, a black woman. She ruled the African country. An African country ruled it. Powerful woman. Right? Queen of Sheba. You got the Moors, the Mamelukes, Hannibal, even the Persians. They was black originally. They showed that movie, the 300 or whatever. But they tell you this is what it was. And then why they do that? Because they don't never want you to rise again. They know it's time for us to rise again. Why do that? Because if you believe this was you was, if you believe you was this, then you'd accept this. Because just step up. Thank you, Master. You saved us from this. Step up. You're better off now because you're not eating animals no more. You can read, you can write. You're not witch doctors, right? You're not eating each other. Just step up. So yeah, so they make you think, hey, I love white devils. I'm glad they brought us over here. Yeah, they had to beat our ass because we were such bad to get us straight, civilize us. See, but slavery was okay because you need to get your ass get spanking to civilize you because you were such bad shape. See, because you got black folks saying that. You got black authors saying that kind of stuff. Yeah, slaves said you need to civilize you. You had to be, you were such bad shape. You had to whoop your ass. See, So now look at you. See, now once you got your whooping you straight, we don't have to whoop you no more. You got people writing that stuff. See, and so yeah, you said, and then the sisters, yeah, man. See, I'm still better off than I was out there, because you accept this. You accept that. It wasn't out. I mean, even when you was going to bed with pains on you, it was better than that. But you accept that because it's better than what you was before. Right? But if you knew that this was what you was, then you would step down, and you would be doing this if you knew this what you was. This, if you knew this what you was. If you knew this what you was, this, not this. If you knew it was this, then you tell them go fuck themselves, and you're going to kick some ass, because look what you did to us. See what you did to our women? See what you did to our youth? See? You have a whole different attitude. They don't want you to have an attitude. So they want you to be grateful. See, you tortured us and beat us for no reason. Look what you did to us. But here, hey man, yeah, you had to whoop out behind. I'm glad you did, man, because you straightened us out. Now look at see, you straightened us up. So we step up now. See, so slavery was a good thing for us. But if you was this, you got a whole different attitude. And a lot of people believe this part. Because that's what they teach in schools. That's why they're trying to shut down the 1619 Project and all that kind of stuff. That's why Trump said you want to stop teaching history in school and all that kind of stuff. Because they want you to believe this what you was. So now you're grateful to them. You praise them. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You're saving that goddamn stuff over there, that Islam stuff. See? Because that's, I mean, I would have that if I thought that's where it came from. I'm thankful too. If I thought this would, because when I was going to school, that's what they taught. I was under my desk when they taught my Greek history, Roman history. Then I got this here, man, I wanted to hide. Because that's what I thought. Until the 60s when I started finding out the truth about it. And once I found out the truth about it, I said, fuck them. I walked away from all that crap. I worked for the military and every damn thing else. I was in the military, sergeant, military. I've been my second tour in Vietnam. And I found out that this was where we came from. Man, I couldn't wait to get my ass out of there. I left and went looking for Elijah and found him. I never looked back. But as long as I was in the army, I was serving, I was in the army, I was serve, I was going to do all that kind of stuff. As long as I thought this was where we came from. See? I was in the army, up 2, 3, 4, sergeant and all this stuff. As long as I thought this was where we came from. When I found out this was it, fuck the army. I didn't care. I didn't ask nobody to leave, I left. I ain't changed, I wasn't scared. I ain't worried about it. You catch me, don't keep putting me, let me do whatever I want. I don't care. I'm not going to serve your ass no more. I'm fighting the wrong people. And I found Elijah Muhammad and I got with him. See what happens? Because when I thought this was it, I thought they were doing, hey man, thank y'all. I wasn't thinking Jesus. I never did believe that stuff. Right? See what I'm saying? Once I found this is where we came from, that shit went on screeching halt. And our people, they're teaching us children that right now, and some of you believe it. Sign delusion. Let's look at that one. And pay attention to this, brothers and sisters. This happened right before your eyes, brothers and sisters, because they put false Israel up there in 1948 to nullify the vision, because Elijah Muhammad told you a true vision, because vision brings people together. They have a common goal, common destination. That unites us. But right now, some is Buddhist, some is Christian, some is Sunni, Some of us this and that, all over the place. We have a common vision. So in the vision is American dream, whatever the devil say. So we're all divided. We can't agree. I mean, you should be in it. I'm a Baptist. No, I'm a Methodist. No, I'm a Buddhist. No, I'm a Hindu. That's what you got out there. Because we don't have a common vision. Because that's destroyed it. They put false idols up there. So look what's happening here. Now that's what's all about right now. What's going on in the Middle East is all about you. They're trying to keep that vision up there because they keep you disunited until they can get rid of your ass. Toward darkness, you thought that was division. That's what's up there. And see, that's what's going to unite us, brothers and sisters. False sisters are about to go down. False sisters go down. Then you have a common vision because you realize that that's us, not them. That we're true to Abraham. Then we come together, seeing the great army. That's what they're trying to stop. That's what Farrakhan did. He turned, Elijah Muhammad started living, Master Muhammad started lifting people up. Elijah Muhammad brought him black and plowed, got that stopped straightening hair, natural, all that kind of stuff, stopped calling stuff Negroes. Then what Farrakhan do? He turned it back into clowns. That's a white boy right there. He got devils in FY uniforms. He said he would make a nation a mockery for enemies because he's a devil. His father's a devil. So that means he's one. But it said the message will come and turn into a exceedingly great army. And that's going to happen very soon, this year.
Although the Nation of Islam, does not presently advocate violence by its members, the group does preach hatred of the white race and racial separatism. The membership of the Nation of Islam is organized and poses a real racial threat. The Nation of Islam is responsible for the largest black nationalist newspaper, which has been used by other black extremists. The Nation of Islam appears to be the personal fiefdom of Elijah Muhammad. When he dies, a power struggle can be expected and the Nation of Islam could change direction. We should be prepared for this eventuality. We should plan how to change the philosophy of the Nation of Islam to one of strictly religious and self-improvement orientation, deleting the race hatred and separate nationhood aspects. In this connection, Chicago should consider what counterintelligence action might be needed now or at the time of Elijah Muhammad's death to bring about such a change in Nation of Islam philosophy. Important considerations should include the identity, strengths, and weaknesses of any contenders for Nation of Islam leadership. What are the positions of our bureau deletion informants in regard to leadership? How could potential leaders be turned or neutralized? The alternative to changing the philosophy of the Nation of Islam is the destruction of the organization. This might be accomplished through generating factionalism among the contenders for Elijah Muhammad's leadership or through legal action in probate court on his death. Chicago should consider the question of how to generate the factionalism necessary to destroy the Nation of Islam by splitting into several groups, bureau deletion. Do you think that the FBI just folded and walked away? Read this document carefully. Did not the FBI accomplish each of their goals? Did not Farrakhan deliver everything the FBI wanted? We should plan to change the philosophy of the Nation of Islam to one of strictly religious and self-improvement orientation. Sunniism, Scientology. Deleting the race hatred. Don't call devils anymore. Deleting the separate nationhood aspects. We ain't going nowhere. No existing economic program. The reason why these facts are ignored is because those that surround him are demons, fools, idolaters and FBI agent handlers who make sure he stays on track.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Pfleger as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is, you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity. So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you. Go ahead.
One more time, brother. You going to tell me that's Master Muhammad's teachings? It's Elijah Muhammad's teachings? Well, see, like I said, they've been given one question. Once the turnover happens, one question. Show me any scripture that support that crap you're saying about Farrakhan. One scripture. It's one. So I wonder would they be laughing, happy, and smiling when they made, I shouldn't even say this, brothers and sisters, but you have no idea what's about to happen to these people? Right? And it's going what I'm about to say right now, right? It's going to be a lot worse than that. I'm just going to give a taste. If you can handle it. I wonder what they're going to say about Father Pfleger. Because we're all the same, everything, right? When they made to eat Father Pfleger's shit.
Washington, D.C. Louis Farrakhan suspects that his father may have been Jewish. At least that's what he tells Henry Louis Gates Jr. in the current issue of the New Yorker magazine. Speaking of his father's white Portuguese parents, the Nation of Islam leader said, "I'm going to tell you something. You really want to know what I think? I think they were members of the Jewish community." He added, I believe that in my blood, and not in a bad way. Because when I was a little boy I used to love listening to the Jewish cantors in Boston. They had a program, and every week I would listen. I was struck by the cantor, and I've always loved the way they sing or recite the Torah. Gates, citing an academic source, says Farrakhan's assertion about his lineage is highly probable given that nearly all people of Iberian descent in Jamaica and Barbados are of Sephardic Jewish ancestry. Farrakhan was born in 1933, the son of May Clark, who was from Barbados. He was named Gene after his father, a light-skinned man with straight hair from Jamaica. His father, Gates writes, was a philanderer whom the family rarely saw. If in my lineage there are Jews, I would hope that in the end, before my life is over, I not only will have rendered a service to my own beloved community of black people but will also have rendered a service to the Jewish community, Farrakhan was quoted as saying. In the interview with Gates, which reportedly lasted 9 hours, the Nation of Islam leader also made reference to wise Jews who plan evil, the international conspiracy of Jewish bankers and overwhelming Jewish complicity in the slave trade. Jewish groups expressed outrage over Farrakhan's latest public statements. Farrakhan's effort to make it appear that he is merely criticizing the evil he finds in his own Jewish antecedents is a reflection of the bizarre and ludicrous nature of his entire behavior towards Jews, Phil Baum, executive director of the American Jewish Congress, said in a statement. Meanwhile, a planned protest against the Anti-Defamation League of B'nai B'rith fizzled last week when Washington, D.C., police denied former Nation of Islam spokesman Khalid Abdul Muhammad entrance to the B'nai B'rith office. Flanked by 4 bodyguards in black fatigues, Muhammad took a moment to rail against the ADL and the Jewish community before he departed the scene. This is a criminal organization and a criminal enterprise that has lied and spied on black leaders and black organizations, said Muhammad, who was dismissed as Farrakhan's spokesman in 1994 in the wake of a national controversy surrounding a vehemently anti-Semitic speech he delivered at Keene College in New Jersey. Muhammad called the ADL and its parent organization, B'nai B'rith, one of the main arteries of improper propaganda and nefarious activity that has greatly influenced the larger American Jewish community. In brief remarks to reporters, Muhammad said the black man and black woman are the chosen people of God and we want to put an end to this lie of the so-called Jews, these people who crawled out of the caves and hills of Europe just a few years ago claiming our birthright. Standing astride Muhammad was Malik Zulu Shabazz, the leader of the Washington, D.C.-based Unity Nation who gained notoriety for leading anti-Semitic chants at Howard University student rallies in 1994. Shabazz said the ADL is an oppressive organization that comes from a people that are by nature evil and wicked.
Let me read this, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to close out. See, they hide so much stuff from you, and that's why some of you acting like you're acting. Because the history they give you, they tell, oh, well, it wasn't us. Where it says God going to destroy it, going to judge this nation. It said, I'm not going to judge Thomas Jefferson. I'm not going to judge George Washington. I'm going to judge this nation. That means all the people in the nation. Right. Plus, they say it's democracy, so they respond for whatever the country does. But anyway, they go, "Oh man, it wasn't. When did we do it? My grandfather did it." No. It's going to judge this nation for what this nation did, how it got powerful it was, what it did to us, the whole nation. That's what it says. So none of them can escape. It says none of them will escape. But let's look at this here. Wall Street. Wall Street history is deeply intertwined with the slave trade. Google is like that's where I got it from. So you can Google this. It's something I made up. Initially serving as a physical market for enslaved people, and later a financier of the institution of slavery. They financed it. The institution of slavery is an institution See, they understand, they didn't. Money wasn't the commodity. Money wasn't the instrument. You were the instrument. Wall Street started out not. It wasn't dollars that was the instrument. You were the instrument. You was the gold. You was the silver. You understand that? From 1711 to 1762, a slave market operated on Wall Street, where enslaved individuals were bought and sold. You read it called Wall Street, that line up along the wall in New York, not Mississippi. Beyond the direct sale of enslaved people, Wall Street banks and financial institutions also played a role in financing the expansion of slavery, profiting from the trade. That's how they got rich. And who's controlling Wall Street? False Israel. They financed it. This is Google. And hurry up, because they probably deleted it. Right? Look at history. Look, Google history of Wall Street. Look at this. Now I told you capitalism. This capitalism was you. They didn't have capitalism before you. Capitalism is slavery by definition. They decided to give it a name called capitalism instead of just the monetary side of slavery. The monetary side of slavery, right? They gave it a name called capitalism. The monetary side of it, because what's capitalism? Minimum overhead, maximum profit. Minimum overhead, maximum profit. Profit, maximum profit, minimum overhead. That means the less they pay you for doing something, the more they make, the more profit they make. And that's slavery by definition. So if they can get you to work all day long and don't pay you anything, that's the maximum profit. That's the ideal. And that's what they did to us. They worked the hell out of us, and they gave us, they didn't give us real food, they gave us shitlings. And they think we're so stupid we can't realize that chitlins and shitlings are the same damn thing. Just took the C off and put the S there. We took the S off and put the C there. Same thing. Anybody's ever ate it, all you got to do is look and see the shit floating on the water. You can smell the whole damn house up. And then you went in like this Django sells up. You had a house and you was on a rocking chair and a fireplace. That's bullshit. You had none of that. If anybody had Master had it. They didn't have any of that. I know firsthand. I talked to my older, before they passed away, right? Old folks, they told me some things. But the point is, and you can go check it out. They fed you the same way they fed pigs in a trial. They take the chitlins and pour it in there, and you ain't had no fork, spoon, nothing. They just like the pigs ate. And then run your ass off to the field to work all day. If you got hungry, no, you better not say you're hungry if you get right. And if anything, you ate cow chips. Cow chips. You know what cow chips are? That's where the word potato chips and that stuff come from. Cow chips, because that's where they fed you. Get that cow chip, nigga. That's because you're so hungry to eat anything. They work you 24/7. So hungry, you eat the cow chip. That's why black folks put so much. You'll see this stuff going to Africa or seeing all that stuff on it because you're trying to cover up the taste. Capitalism, a modern form, emerged in Europe between the 16th and 18th, around 1500s when slavery started. Enslaved centuries evolving from agrarian capitalism and mercantilism. But they say they try to cover it up. What, is that a coincidence? Same time slavery started? It is an economic system where the means of production are privately owned and operate for profit. Profit. That's what slavery is all about. Profit off of your misery, your suffering. And with capital accumulation, free trade, and wage labor as key characteristics. Wage labor. The only wage you got was you got to eat some chitlins at the end of the day, maybe. See, you think capitalism? No, capitalism was invented is the monetary side of slavery. So they gave it a name, capitalism. They don't say it here, but then you can't you figure it out? It started the same time slavery started. It's the monetary. Say, well, what's the monetary side of slavery? Capitalism. Capitalism is slavery by definition. The more they work for you, because any time you make a profit, that means they're not paying you for what you're worth. So the less they pay, the more profit they make. Facts. The Arabian Peninsula became transformed into the desert we know totally around 6,000, 5,000 years ago. Oh, Dr. Yakub, I told you, energy deprivation Plants start losing energy. So therefore, it got cooler, cooler, cooler. Then you got the snow caps, and you got to start having deserts and stuff. Google it. And rainfall declined. Rainfall declined, and the region dried up. See, because why how it dried up? Where the water go? Frozen up in the North and South poles. The problem was not a sudden event, but rather a gradual shift influenced by climate change and potential human activity. Oh, human activity 5,000, 6,000 years ago? No, climate change, because the planet got cooler and cooler and cooler. But now it's heating up again. They call it global warming. But it's for our advantage. It's bad for them. Because if you winter person, global warming means spring come. You don't want that. Because now spring people can control. You had spring people under your control, right? Because they were freezing, man. They had to listen to you. Stay warm. You had to get stoves and stuff. You just stay warm. But they were freezing, man. So you had them under control. But now spring come, you don't need them damn stoves and stuff no more. See? And then now you getting sunburns and stuff. You understand? That's just pretty much that's the way it is. So they're going to do everything they can to stop the spring, but they can't stop it. So in desperation, they see they can't stop it. They're going to try to stop you, think maybe if they get rid of you, they can stop the spring. That's what's happening, brothers and sisters. See? Spring is coming in. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.